Now mods have finally come to console and there's a plethora of subclasses and classes to work our way through. So this is my Spellblade Wizard build, level 1 to 12 with a combat tutorial and items as always. And obviously, how do we start? With Wizard level 1. Now for your spells, we are going to do my usual, and you probably know it, it's my Holy Trinity as I like to call it. Shocking Grasp, Ray of Frost and Firebolt. Reason being is we have 2 ranged spells, we have 1 melee spell, and with 3 different damage types being fire, cold, and lightning. And for your regular spells, there are loads of options we could have, but the options we are going to take are the pretty standard ones you'd probably expect. So, we are going to take Mage Armor. Protect a target from attacks, increase armor class to 13 plus its dexterity modifier. Very helpful for this build. We're going to take Thunder Wave, probably the best spell in the game in my opinion, because it's really good at pushing people for ledges, balconies, beams, especially early levels. This is a great way to finish fights early. Magic Missile, again another spell that is so good from the start of the game to the end of the game, and you can upcast it to deal even more damage and to do even more sort of missiles. Long Strider, increase a creature's movement speed by 3, and because this is a ritual spell, you can cast it outside of combat, and it will last until you rest again. False Life, just to gain those 7 temporary hit points. And Shield, reaction spell, increases your AC by 5, take no damage from Magic Missile, a nice way of buffing up your melee-based wizard. Now for your ability points, you want something akin to this: 8 strength, 16 dexterity because the Spellblade is all about using a dex-based weapon, 14 constitution, 16 intelligence, 10 wisdom, and 10 charisma. For your proficiencies, take whatever you feel like. Okay, at Wizard level 2 is where we get to pick our specialization, so of course, the Spellblade. This gives us Mind's Eye, so your opportunity attacks are made with advantage. Automatically attack an enemy moving in front of your reach. Additionally, you gain an extra reaction each turn, which means not only could we do a reaction to do an opportunity attack, it's basically a free use kind of shield if you need it. And Finesse Weapon Parry. When wielding a finesse weapon and not wearing a shield, you can use your reaction to parry the next weapon attack, reducing the damage by class, equal to your wizard class level. It also gives us proficiency with rapier, short swords, and scimitars, as well as light armor. And the spell of Swift Magic Weapon. Infuse a weapon with arcane energy, the weapon becomes magical, receiving a +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls. And as you can see on the back, we are using a scimitar. So this works all in conjunction. Now for spells, at this point I would personally take Featherfall because it can be very helpful, and I would take Ice Knife. Okay, Wizard level 3, you can see we've now unlocked level 2 spell slots. And for this I would personally take Knock, because I love Knock, I think it's amazing. And I'll take Mirror Image. This just helps buff ourselves up because we're not going to have the biggest health pool as a wizard, and we're not have the best AC because we can't wear medium or heavy armor. Mirror Image is a nice way of buffing yourself up, especially if you are going to be in the thick of battle. Wizard level 4, this unlocks our first feat. But before that, we have to take a cantrip. We're going to take Mage Hand, nice little utility spell that can have a lot of useful interactions in the game. And we have more spells to choose from. So at this point, we're going to take Misty Step, nice little bonus action spell, and we're going to take Hold Person. Hold a humanoid enemy still. They can't move, act, or react. Any hits from within 3 meters are always critical hits, which means if you hold an enemy, then they can then not do anything. Any melee attack on them, guaranteed crit. And for a feat, at this level, we are going to bump our intelligence up to 18. Now, even though this is a melee-based subclass, it's very glass cannon-y. A lot of the time, you will still be doing your spells from range, so please bear that in mind. Wizard level 5, we're up to 32 hit points and more spells. So first of all, we're going to take Glyph of Warding. I love this spell. You pick a effect, such as fire damage, ice, whatever, and you place it on the ground. When an enemy walks into it, it will trigger and deal damage to them. However, how I personally like doing this spell is placing it on top of a bunch of enemies and then at the end of your turn, it will trigger and attack all of them. So instead of doing it as a trap, you can basically do it as a bomb, and it's phenomenal. And we're going to take haste as well. Target yourself or an ally to become hasted, gain an action, become faster, and gain a +2 to armor class. Again, amazing. If you cast this on yourself, you could do so many attacks as a wizard and boost your AC. Couple this with a mirror image and your shield, and you've got a pretty versatile wizard on your hands. Okay, wizard level 6 is where we get our next class ability, and that is Spellblade Flurry. After casting a spell, you can make a melee attack as a bonus action. Amazing. Now, we're also going to take Fireball, because Fireball is great, and we're going to take Counterspell. I love Counterspell. It is one of the most life-saving and greatest spells in the game. It's a must-have. Wizard level 7, we now have access to level 4 spell slots, and there are loads of things we could do. We can do Conjure Elementals, Dimension Doors, all sorts of fun stuff. What we are going to do is take Fire Shield. Wreath your body in flames that shed light in a 3-meter radius, provide resistance to fire or cold damage, and retaliate against melee attacks. Really nice way of just, again, buffing up yourself. If you're going to be in the forefront attacking enemies, nice way of just buffing yourself for it. And we're going to pair this with Evard's Black Tentacles. I love this spell. I put this on my top 10 list of best spells in the game. It's amazing because they will sprout from the ground. It's difficult terrain for enemies. They attack enemies. They smother them. If you could throw this and a Hunger of Hadar on top of each other, you will crumble enemies. I did that in Moonrise Towers, and it was a breeze getting down that staircase on the first playthrough. Okay, Wizard level 8, we have another feat available. Before that, however, we do have to pick our spells. And because of limited spell slots, I would personally recommend choosing some lower level ones when there's nothing that quite takes your fancy at the top. So for this, we are going to take Vampiric Touch, and we're going to take Scorching Ray. And for our feat, we are going to take our intelligence up to 20. Wizard level 9 gives us our level 5 spell slots, and for this one, Cloud Kill. This is phenomenal. Craft a large cloud that inflicts 5 to 40 poison damage per turn. You can repurpose the cloud every turn. The cloud heavily obscures everything within it. A insane amount of damage this creates. And we're also going to take Hold Monster. This is Hold Person but on steroids. Amazing way of just holding down a bigger, more dangerous enemy and rendering them useless. Wizard level 10, we have our Spellblade. When wielding a finesse weapon and not wearing armor or a shield, you gain a +0 bonus to attack rolls and deal an additional magical damage equal to your intelligence modifier from 4 different damage types. I'm not sure why it says 0, I think that's a bit of a glitch, but you get the gist of it. An enhanced finesse weapon parry. When wielding a finesse weapon and not wearing a shield, you can use your reaction to parry the next weapon or spell attack, reducing the damage by a class level equal to your wizard class level. And again, for your spells, you kind of just want to take anything that is a very low level to save those high level spell slots, whether it's to upcast spells or just for more like versatility. So personally, I would take Ice Storm because it can be very helpful. And then at that point, I'd probably take Cloud of Daggers just to help you create a choke point sometimes that enemies have to run through. Wizard level 11, we have our 6th level spell slots, and there are some really, really incredible ones here. The main one you want to take is Otto's Irresistible Dance. Cause a creature to start dancing, making it unable to take actions or move. Its attackers have advantage on attack rolls. Dancer has disadvantage on attack rolls, and there is no spell save DC when doing the spell. So this works on Gortash, Orin, Ketheric if you were at that point. You're not going to be, but you know what I mean. It's incredible. It's a great way of just rendering powerful enemies absolutely useless. And to couple that, I would personally either take Sunbeam or I'd take Disintegrate, whatever you feel is best. And then it is our final level, Wizard level 12. We have 1 extra feat that you can choose and 2 more spells. Again, at this point, kind of take anything you feel like. I'm just going to take Ray of Enfeeblement and Melf's Acid Arrow. Now there's a few options here for your final feat. You could do the ability score improvement and you could take your dexterity up to 18. I wouldn't say not to do that. You could do Durable if you wanted to increase your constitution. Don't really think it's worth it. You could do defensive duelist. When attacking while wielding a finesse weapon you're proficient with, using reaction to add your proficiency bonus to your armor class. Not a bad option. I personally would do either mobile. Mobile is one of my favourite feats in the entire game. Your movement speed increases and difficult trait doesn't slow you down when you dash. If you move after making a melee attack, you don't provoke opportunity attacks from your target. I put this on my rogue in both this game and actual D&D, and it is incredible to just dash around, attack an enemy, move out the way, attack an enemy, move out the way. I cannot put into words how amazing it is. Couple that with haste and you can dart around the battlefield, landing an attack on every enemy, and then just move out the way. However, most people, and I myself here, would probably recommend alert just for the +5 bonus to initiative. Okay, so that was my level 1 to 12 guide. It's now time to look at our items, and let's start with the Hat of Fire Acuity. When you deal fire damage, you gain Arcane Acuity for 2 turns. And why is that important? It's because we're using Kerwin's Cauterizer. It deals fire damage, 1 to 4 extra on top of your attack. On a hit, target starts burning unless it succeeds a Constitution saving throw, and because it's a scimitar, we are proficient with it. We're going to pair this with the Cloak of the Weave, gain a +1 bonus to spell save DC and spell attack rolls, and we can absorb elements. The Robe of the Weave, gain a +1 bonus to spell save DC and spell attack rolls. Whenever we succeed a saving throw, we regain 1 to 6 hit points and a +2 to our armor class. And as you can see, our armor class is 17, and that's before we've even done anything such as mage armor. The Boots of Genial Striding, we are unimpeded by difficult terrain. Obviously, if you take a mobile, you're not going to want to use these boots. Braces of Defense, +2 bonus to armor class, as long as you're not wearing armor or holding a shield, and we are not. Shifting Corpus Ring gives us invisibility and blur, really handy if you're in a really sticky situation you need to escape. The Crypt Lord Ring, create undead, really nice way of getting a minion on the battlefield. And the Spellcraft Amulet, so we can restore some of those high level spell slots, meaning we can do more instances of Otto's irresistible dance. So that is my build, level 1 to 12 with the items. Let's go find some combat and we'll show this off. Okay, we're in combat, and as you can see, our wizard is actually joined in the turn order with our rogue. Amazing. So let's go to our lovely Spellblade. Now, honestly, you kind of want to do a bunch of spells to begin with. We're not going to do that. We should have done Mage Armor before the fight, but I honestly forgot. So we can do that now quick. So we're going to cast Mage Armor on ourselves, because I should have done it out of combat, but I'm stupid. And there you go. Now if you remember, we did have 17 armor class, we now have 20. And thanks to that, unfortunately we have our bonus action still that we can cast some magic spells. However, we're going to do Swift Magic Weapon, and we're going to cast that on ourselves. And there you go, and now we have extra attack with our sword. So if we come into here, you'll see the damage has gone up slightly. And we're going to close the distance here, and we're just going to take a swipe with our reaction, because we have 2, at this man here. And there you go, you'll see we just did a huge amount of damage. And there you go, Mind's Eye. So if we were to just examine it, automatically attack an enemy moving in front of your reach. So that is exactly what we're going to do. We can apparently, I think I clicked off it by accident, so instead we're just going to shield up. Because I pressed the wrong button. What we should have done was that, but instead we can do Enhanced Finesse Weapon. Parry the next attack that hits you. So he took 5 damage from a crit. Really, really good stuff.
I'm ready.
And as you can see, they are missing their attacks.
Still on my feet.
Now, we're still in this, and don't forget, we are still a wizard at heart. So we're going to do a cantrip, because this will unlock one of our other abilities. And as you can see, we did a huge amount of critical damage then. Amazing. Just amazing. And we can still use our bonus action to flourish, since we're using a scimitar as such. Okay, again, we are going to do our strike like that. And again, and you see we took 0 damage from that riposte, and we only took 10 damage from their first critical hit once again. Okay, so we are going to Misty Step out of here, and we're going to come all the way up to here, and we'll get behind this person here.
First step is the hardest.
Now, unfortunately, we are going to take the crit there. They're critting us like crazy. But, in fact, since we've already taken it, we might as well save the spell slot. We're going to run up here.
Have seen everything.
And because we're going to be in the thick of battle, we are going to prep ourselves. And we're going to do that with a mirror image. And we still have the ability to attack thanks to our bonus actions and whatnot. As you see, we are doing a huge amount of damage still. So you take extra damage from fire, and in 2 hits we've absolutely melted them. And we can do the exact same thing up here. Come here, we can strike, and you see we still have bonus action available. So we can spell slot restoration if we wanted to. We're not, we're just going to keep running and attacking. As you see, mirror image missed them and them. So again, we're just protecting ourselves. We cause more fire damage to this person here. Another miss, but because they attacked us, we get to do that. And this is just an amazing subclass. We've only played this basically as a pure melee class so far. So, let me show you the benefits of how it still plays like a wizard, because they should die on their next round. They've got 2 rounds of burning. What we can remember to do is we are a wizard, like I said. So let's do Otto's Irresistible Dance. And there you go, it is concentration, so we've got to make sure we don't take too much damage. But, essentially this means they are now rendered useless. And, since we've done that, we still have the ability with our bonus action to attack. And that is exactly what we're going to do by doing that. And then we can effectively just hide here. We can shield ourselves up. And as you can see, they missed every attack. They are still dancing. And then from there, we can just very simply wail on them until they die. And again, this works on every enemy in the game, so you can do this to Gortash or Rin, the like. We can come up here and hit it with a massive sneak attack. And it's as easy as that. And we're still a wizard, as I said, so we can still attack the enemies here. And we have our spells to do so. If we wanted to, we can now restore our spell slot and recoup our level 6 spell slot we used thanks to our Spellcrux amulet. Instead, we're just going to do a hold person. If we can see them, we can't, sadly. Okay. So instead, what we'll do is we'll Misty Step. We'll come over here. And now we'll try to do a hold person on them, which is one of your core abilities in this build. Holding them and then just letting your allies just dominate them. And as you see, we are now a Raven with Jaheira, just so I can show this off. If we do a melee attack, it's an automatic critical hit. Every single attack. And this also works with our sneak attacks, so an incredible amount of damage there. And that's what makes the Spellblade so powerful. Now bear in mind, if you look at our spell slots and then we were to rest, like such, they don't recoup. But, as I said, we can restore it with our Spellcrux amulet, and now do Otto's Dance again. And, if we were to come into our character sheet, you see we still have things like Mage Armor. So, until we long rest, this will last. And as long as we keep ourselves with a Cleric who can heal us, we're super busy. So, I hope you've enjoyed this build. If you have, please drop the episode a like, helps me amazingly. Let me know what you would do differently, what the skills you take, what the weapons, all that fun stuff. If you're new and you haven't subscribed but you'd like to, that'd also be amazing. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.